I like to think of myself as a problem solver. Does anyone here like to think of themselves as problem solvers? Let me see. Okay. Now, think back and let me know if this has happened. A friend comes to you and they are falling apart. They're crumbling. Maybe terrible relationship. Maybe they're caged or trapped in their life. Or maybe it's a horrible job. Whatever it is, it's bad. But you're a problem solver. You got this. You see the path out. You see the solution. So you craft it together perfectly, hand it to them, and send them off. And then they do exactly what you told them not to do. Fellow Toastmasters, judges, guests, Zoom bombers, I want to introduce someone to you. My older brother, Lee. If you want an image, just picture me, but more intense. Ever since we were kids, Lee has asked other people for their answers while I have told them what to do. For example, when Lee caught me chasing one of his friends around the backyard with a tree branch, waving it wildly over my head, his response was, "What are you doing?" Whereas when he came home with an injury from letting a friend stand on his shoulders with a chainsaw, I said, "Hey, idiot, next time, bring a ladder." You know, oddly enough, he never did bring that ladder on his next chainsaw romp. But what I've noticed is Lee always starts with a question. Even when I call him, his first thing to say tends to be, "What?" Lee asks for explanations. He asks for answers. Why are you doing this? What's your plan? What's going on? What are you thinking? And this is something I've really come to appreciate, especially when compared to my method of handing out solutions. Back in 2016, I was at the tail end of a horrible job. I was a door-to-door salesman in Toronto, and I was depressed and burnt out. On a daily basis, I was at least troubled, if not fully traumatized, by either crazy customers or just the crooked company. An example, I had a customer answer his door. He kind of looked a bit like me, same build, same hair, but he was wearing this shirt that came down to about here, and he was wearing absolutely nothing else. I have never made more direct nor more desperate eye contact in my entire life. As for the company, they promised a fully furnished house to get me to fly across the country. There was going to be everything: four-poster bed, TVs, Xboxes, fully stocked kitchen. It was going to be amazing. But when I got there was a mattress in the bedroom, a couch in the living room, and absolutely nothing else. It was awful. But what made it worse was all the people came crawling out of the woodwork to try and solve my problem. They'd tell me to quit. They'd tell me to go home. They tell me, "You don't deserve this crap." They'd tell me what to do. And the more they did, the less I wanted to. Everyone told me to quit. Everyone except Lee. I remember ranting and raving to him about the horrors of door-to-door sales, and he'd get steadily louder. He'd get steadily angry. He'd react bigger, but he never told me what to do. I remember saying to him, "Oh God, man, on top of the naked customers, when I got to the house, the company was there. Oh, mattresses. You furnished it with mattresses, eh? Mattresses." Mattresses. There's this long pause before Lee, intense as always, goes, "Mattresses? Those absolute wastes of space. Isn't that illegal?" To which I say, "No, it was never written in a contract. It was all just talk." And he goes, "Damn. Well, whatever you're there for better be worth it. Why are you sticking it out?" Why was I sticking it out? He was asking for an explanation. He was asking for an answer like he always did. But I didn't have one. I wasn't there for money. I wasn't making any. I wasn't there to learn. All I was learning now was how important a few inches of fabric can really be on a man's shirt. Why was I sticking it out? I was tired. I was angry. I was depressed. I needed to go home. I'm happy to say, less than a month later, I was on a flight back to BC onto a much happier and mentally healthier life. When I told people what to do, when I handed them solutions, they rarely took them. Hell, if Lee had told me what to do, I'd probably still be back in Toronto on that same stupid mattress. But because he asked for my answer, he freed me to see my situation and find my own solution. Now, because of Lee, I stopped telling people what to do. Now I ask a question, I ask for their answer. That way, either they give the explanation that Lee always looked for, or they find their own solution that works for them. So, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I will ask you this, my fellow problem solvers. When someone comes to you and they are falling apart, they're crumbling. Maybe it is a terrible relationship. Maybe they feel caged or trapped in their life. Maybe it's a horrible job. Are you going to start handing out solutions? Or are you going to start asking for answers? Back to you.